left hands in the dough, fully pot. Sticky fingers, palm looking, the block stay hot. Cyraxx, shadow boxing, swinging at the air, undefeated in delusion. Reality don't care, Jupiter creeping, got the whole crew shook. Predator rhymes, got a band from the book. Josh Block at the hill, bottle in his clutch. Captain of a ship that's been sinking too much. Over Navy rattling, can't step to the throne. Worry top the mic, let them reap what they've sown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Thanks for stopping by the channel again today. We have a very interesting update in the Cyraxx universe. Many of you will remember the drone wars from a couple of years ago where there was paint buckets being dropped on the house at 339. They were under attack, they were under assault. And for any of you who forget, this is my favorite moment from it right here.
Who did you piss off? It says Chance will diddle for free.
Well, based on a post from William Gloryhole's channel and then the fallout afterwards, it seems as though we're about to be entering yet another drone war. Call the trolls George W. Bush because they just cannot stop drone striking Cyraxx's house. Actually, they might be better than George W. Bush because they can actually articulate the reason they're doing it. But you know what they say. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me. Can't get fooled again. That's just an old saying from Tennessee. I know they got it in Texas. I know they got it in Tennessee. But those who know, know. So, we're not here to make fun of George W. Bush today, although it would be easy to do literally all day long. We are here to make fun of Chance Wilkins, the Goblin of Akron, Ohio. So let's get into it. The post on William's channel reads as follows. Well, last night, and this is from somebody named Super Saiyan Jim, William just reposted this on his YouTube channel. Well, last night, took a stroll to Akron and did some nighttime calibrating. 2 Fab 500s were launched. Hit the target. A buddy troll needs to tell Rax and he can find the tops. At some point, I'll release the video, planning on going all in at some daytime action. They must have disconnected the alarm lights because none were alerted this time. Oh, and P.S. if you want to chip in for drone fuel, and then that Cash App down there is Super Saiyan Jim's Cash App so that you can help donate to support the ongoing conflict against 339. So, not long after that post was made, Cyraxx decided to get on stream and make a response video explaining why flying drones around his house was a bad idea. And by his house, I mean Sally's house, and by bad idea, I mean a really, really funny idea. So let's take a look.
This video is for Jack Party, Thompson, William, Wholesome Jack. You guys are so stupid.
I just want to point out, I don't know if you can tell from this angle, but keep an eye on, I guess this would be his left, I was going to say shoulder, but it's really not a shoulder. Where the left side of his body where a shoulder would be, there's like a ridiculous amount of dandruff over there. It's really gross.
See, what you guys don't realize is I know about the drone shit y'all are trying to do.
I'm sorry, but I just need to point out, a 35-year-old, less than 5 foot tall, bald white man wearing like 9 necklaces that look like they came from a Hot Topic, wearing a Tupac shirt is just too much for me. All the rings that looks like a vampire costume from Shein. What the fuck is the fit, man? And why is he even trying to wear? I don't know. Maybe this is a hot take. Maybe you guys will correct me. I don't wear a lot of jewelry as it is, but back when I had like my punk, goth, grunge, emo, whatever you want to call it phase, I did wear like literally like 10 rings. Like I was wearing rings on every finger. I had like a chain that I would wear around my, like I wore jewelry at that time. And when I was in the house just hanging out, like I wasn't getting dressed up to go out to a bar or go out to a concert or something, I wasn't just sitting around wearing all the fucking rings. I wasn't just sitting around, maybe the chain, but I wasn't just sitting around wearing all the random jewelry. The only thing I was keeping in was my gauges because I was actively trying to stretch my ears, but like, I don't know, I just think it's weird that he's wearing like, maybe it's because I have the type of autism where I get overstimulated by having like too many layers on, and the 9 necklaces that he's wearing just looks like a sensory nightmare to me, but this whole I don't know, this whole thing is just bizarre. It all feels so performative. And then the Tupac shirt doesn't even match any of it. This is like if he was wearing a My Chemical Romance t-shirt and then a do-rag. It's just 2 different aesthetics.
I know about the drone shit that you did to Daniel Larson. Fail to realize is this. There are laws against what you are doing. Flying over private property, dropping paint on someone's house, that's a crime. That's invading private property and private airspace. There are laws against what you are doing. And trust me, I know about this shit with Daniel Larson, how y'all fucking had drones flying around his house and following him, and how you guys have people that live around my area that you have reporting for you. But here's the thing, boys. There's one thing that you fail to realize. And that is this, motherfuckers. You fly a drone over my house, I have every right to shoot it down.
Cyraxx, literally what would you shoot it down with? Is it going to be that tiny little varmint toy that's supposed to be like baby's first hunting gear that looks like it was gigantic in your hands but probably would have been small for the 11-year-old that it was made to teach to hunt squirrels with? Do you have a slingshot hidden? Because I fear that you probably wouldn't be able to pull it back all the way. Also, I just need to say, you have one working eye and it's lazy. It's always wandering off in the wrong direction. You don't even have any fucking depth perception, bro. During the Edstein files, it was revealed that when you take a piss, you literally miss the toilet. Ed said in those files to Southern Harlot, he pisses all over the bathroom. He literally hits everything but the toilet. So if you can't even, I don't know, if you can't even get your stream into the bowl, I highly doubt you can get a moving target that's buzzing around above your head, even if you did have something to try to hit it with.
I am going to rip it apart. I am going to take the SD card out and take everything out of the drone that is useful for me.
What are you going to take out of a drone that's useful for you? See, this is a thing where, like, I don't know. When he got the Cyraxx laptop with the cardboard screen, which again, fucking hilarious as shit, when he got that in the mail, he did the same thing. He was like, I'm gonna take the components out of the bottom half of this computer and make something with it. And it's like, well, first of all, Cyraxx, you have no understanding of any of the technology that you want to have so bad, so you would never be able to do that. Second of all, there's really nothing useful for you to take in there. But third of all, here's a really easy way to see if somebody knows what they're talking about. If somebody was talking about how they were going to strip a car for parts, and they were like, oh, I'm going to take the catalytic converter, I'll probably take the rims off of it because I have another car the rims will fit on. The stereo system is compatible with other GM vehicles, so I'll take the stereo out and see if I can fit that into something. It sounds at least a little bit like they know what they're talking about in reference to cars. But if the same person said, oh yeah, I'm going to strip that car for all the useful stuff, I'm going to take everything that's good and useful out of it. It's like, why aren't you saying what you're going to take out of it? You're just saying whatever's useful. That leads me to believe that you don't know what's useful, you don't know what to strip out or how to do it, so I have no faith that you're going to do that.
And I'm then going to turn it over to the police.
After you destroyed it? That's not how evidence gathering and evidence recovery works, Cyraxx. If anything, if you did knock a drone out of the sky, you would have to leave it exactly where it was in the grass, and then call the police, and then tell them to come get it. To which they would probably be like, oh god, I have to go to Lloyd Street again, what is this bullshit? And they would probably bag it up and then throw it in the trash can without investigating because nobody gives a damn what happens to you or your family, you goblin. But even if this was a legitimate crime, and even if they were going to actually investigate this, you can't fucking tamper with the evidence yourself and then turn it over to the police, because at that point, who's to say that you didn't do something to it? You could have put your own SD card in there. Like, even you're going to take the SD card out. Well, they need the SD card, don't they? You can't take that. That would be evidence. So, like, I love the idea that he's saying he's going to both tamper with the evidence and destroy the evidence, and then also call the police to come pick it up, and somehow all of those things can happen simultaneously.
And once I turn it over to the police, guess what? They can backtrace that footage to your guys' vehicle. They can backtrace the serial number to who purchased or rented said drone. And you don't think that your faces ain't gonna be on that shit? It don't matter whether you cover up your faces or not, because guess what, motherfuckers? It'll have your fucking license plate number from the air. Because it's gotta take off from somewhere.
Chance, can you remind me, what was your first license plate number, buddy? Oh, wait.
It's gotta take off from somewhere, even if you're not around the vehicle. I'm still gonna know the area. And I've lived here by Summit Lake and here in Akron, Ohio for over 10 fucking years.
So I also just want to point out something interesting that he says there, and he does this all the time. He says, once he turns this over to the police, they're going to get the license plate number, and they're going to figure out the car and the person and the area that it launched from and everything like that. I don't think that Chance understands the difference between the police and a private investigator. Everything that he says about law enforcement, Chance seems to believe that if there is a crime that happens against you, you can call the police. And the police will then basically just work as, like, your lackeys or your private investigators to figure out the crime. And you can tell the police specifically how you want the crime to be handled and who you think they should be investigating. Like, you basically get to manage them in reference to whatever crime was committed against you. And that literally could not be further from the truth. The last thing that the police want is for you to try to tell them how to handle a crime that you've reported to them. As the victim, even of a real crime, basically the only thing that you get to do is choose whether or not to report the crime or not, and then it goes 100% into law enforcement's hands. And the last thing the police are going to do is inform you on the private details of a suspect in an ongoing investigation, because that suspect has rights as well. What if they told Chance, hey, this William Gloryhole, his name is actually John Smith, and he lives at this house, and he's the one who's been dropping the paint on your house. We traced his license plate there. And then Chance went to that house and did something violent. The police would be liable for releasing that information. So the police would never ever tell you until after they had basically a conviction, until this person was, like, arrested for the crime, and they were going to actually be going to jail for it and awaiting trial, who this person, like, they're not going to update you on all these private details of an ongoing investigation. That just makes no sense. And he says this all the time, once the police figure out who you are, then I'll know. No, you won't.
So I know this area quite fucking well.
Alright, so because I was talking so much, we glossed over a little something that he said there. My god, what a cursed pause. I'm going to play it again because I actually have something to say about that as well.
I've lived here by Summit Lake and here in Akron, Ohio for over 10 fucking years. Okay? So I know this area quite fucking well.
Okay, so that's the part that I wanted to respond to. So, you know how in a lot of video games when you start with, the map will be, like, mostly grayed out, and then as you walk around the map, I'm thinking of Silent Hill 2 Remake, but most games are like this. As you walk around the map, as you enter new areas, it will kind of open up the map to that new area as you make your way around. And then if it's a really detailed map game, as you walk into certain rooms and stuff like that, it might even mark off, like, key items or save points or something like that as you discover them. That's what being in the world is like, Chance. So, just because you have physically lived, like, in Akron, in the zip code that you're in, for 10 years, just physically being in that attic for 10 years doesn't unlock any of the map for you. You don't learn the neighborhood through osmosis. There was a time when I was living in Brooklyn when I was in college, and there was, like, everything that I needed was to the east of me. So within, like, 10 blocks east of me, there was, like, the laundromat that I went to, all my favorite sandwich shops, all the school buildings, a lot of my friends' apartments were that way, the dive bars that I liked to go to, the music venues, the art galleries, like, everything was to the east of where I was living. I was kind of on the cusp of the college area, and then to the west of me was just a bunch of residential apartment buildings and not really any businesses that I needed to go to. So I lived there for 2 years. I could tell you the 10 blocks to the east of me, like the back of my hand to this day. If I went to visit, I mean, I could walk around with my eyes closed. The blocks to the west of me, it doesn't matter that I lived there for 2 years. I have no fucking clue anything there. I could not tell you any business. I could not tell you what any of the streets are called. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about that section of that neighborhood, even though I was physically close to it for 2 years, because I never went there. So that's my very long roundabout way of trying to make the point. Chance has lived in Akron for 10 years, but he has spent 99.9% of that time, not even just in the house, but in the attic. I don't even think he has the entire map unlocked, following this analogy, for the house. There are rooms in there that are still blacked out, let alone the entire, like, town or city or whatever you want to call it. He doesn't even fucking know his own neighborhood well. I think if you blindfolded him and you drove him a good 5 blocks from his house, when you took the blindfold off, if you said walk home, he would cry and try to call Sally. He'd be like, can I use your phone, please? Because he has no fucking clue where anything is.
If you fly a drone around my house, and I'm going to hand it over to the police, and I'm going to make an example out of you. And if you don't think I'm going to, well then, that's your fault. Because like I said, I will make an example out of you. I will make sure that you guys are made an example out of. Because see, Daniel Larson didn't have a way to fight back. He didn't have a way that he could do shit. But me, oh, I got plenty of ways. I have plenty of ways that I could disrupt your drone. I have plenty of ways that I could shoot your shit down. And it won't be hard to do because what you guys fail to realize this. I'm an army brat. I was raised around weaponry. I was raised around able to shoot both still targets and moving targets.
Okay, so again, the way that this floored me the first time that I heard him say that, it was not 3 days ago that he was saying that Gordon was a deadbeat drunk who didn't take care of him and Sally and abandoned them, and he was such a loser and he was a piece of crap and all this stuff. That's what prompted me yesterday to decide to cover the old Gordon Marty stream, because I wanted to play for everyone Gordon's side of the story since Chance was talking all this shit. Because as you know, William and John have been telling Chance that they were going to get Gordon Wilkins on panel again, which is very interesting considering Gordon has been dead for a while, unless Chance is watching, in which case, of course he's not dead, and neither is Marty. They're plotting against you in Miami, Cuba. But, yeah, Chance spurged out and was like, "Oh, I'm never going to get on panel with him. There's no way. He's a piece of shit." But now he's saying he was an army brat and he was trained to use weaponry and to shoot, quote, still and moving targets. I like, there's so much to unpack there. First of all, you're 35 years old, so you really need to stop hearkening everything back to your childhood. It's not very often in my life as a 26-year-old man that I cite a skill as being something that I learned as a kid. Like, maybe I'll be like, oh yeah, my dad was the one who taught me how to play hockey. But very rarely am I like, well, you know, when I was this growing up, and I was that growing up, and when I was a kid, this person trained me. Like, I don't know, you're an adult, that's weird, and you're like 10 years older than me, Cyraxx. On top of that, you cannot talk all the shit in the world on Gordon and say he was a terrible father figure to you, but then also simultaneously claim all these skills that you're only claiming that you have because of him. You can't try to steal his valor and say that you're some type of a Rambo army brat and also say that he didn't take care of you. Was he this amazing father figure who bestowed all this knowledge upon you and trained you to be the ultimate fighting machine? Or was he a deadbeat absentee father who was never around and he was always drunk? Like, it can't be both, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, I just want to point out, there is a big difference between having a parent who is a military veteran and having been an army brat. I'm not trying to gatekeep this because I'm neither. Neither of my parents served. I'm not an army brat. I'm not the child of a veteran. But, like, I have military service people in my family who have kids. I have cousins who grew up on bases around the country. And there is a big difference between someone whose mother or father was actively in the military when they were growing up and they moved around the country, and maybe they spent a little bit of time in Hawaii, and maybe they spent a little bit of time overseas, and then they were in Arizona, and like they were on different bases exclusively around other army brats all the time. There's a very big difference between that and between a situation where your step-grandfather, or even just to stick to the example, one of your parents has been retired from the military for a while by the time that you're growing up. Because at that point, you're not growing up on bases, you're not constantly around other quote-unquote army brats. You're just growing up living a normal life with your mother or father working a normal job, and they just happened to have been in the military. And yes, they still have a military bearing, and yes, they're probably going to raise you a little bit differently, having been in the armed forces, and maybe they're going to have a different outlook on parenting, or maybe they'll be a little bit more likely to teach you to shoot or teach you to hunt or something like that. But army brat means a very specific thing. It means you were a kid growing up on bases. And Cyraxx, you were not a kid, you were not growing up on bases, and you have absolutely no claim to that status. And it's weird that you would even want to claim some protected status as a kid, like some special classification that you would have had as a child when you're 35 years old. I mean, again, this is like if you were 35 bragging about how you had been a Cub Scout, or how you had played something in not even in high school, but in like Little League. Like, it's just weird that you would even feel the need to bring this up right now. But I guess everything's got to be about kids with him, even when he's the kid in question.
So guess what? It don't matter how fast your drone is. I know how to pick that bitch out the sky. No fucking problem. No matter the height, no matter the range. I could take a normal paintball gun and make that shit shoot 10 times further than what it's supposed to. So do you really want to fuck with an army brat that actually knows how to shoot? So like I said, I catch you flying a drone around my house, bang bang, I'm tearing it apart, and then I'm handing the shit over to the cops. Cause once I rip that bitch out the sky, I'm gonna then rip off the propellers, I'm gonna stomp on it, make sure that it's not usable anymore. I'm gonna rip off the propellers and break those off so it can't fly or go anywhere. And then guess what? All I gotta do is break it apart and hand it to the police and be like, hey, here's the stuff for the drone that they flew around my house. You fly a drone around my house, bang, bang, I don't miss. So be ready, boys.
I just gotta say, the absolute fucking irony of him bragging that he doesn't miss as his eyes wander in either direction, knowing that only one of them even works in the first place, is fucking hilarious to me. And he's making fucking finger pointy motion, and YouTube doesn't like that. Apparently YouTube takes it as a threat against somebody's life. So I have to blur it out, but behind the censor bar or whatever I end up putting in front of it, that's what he's doing. Yeah, there's another good freeze frame of it. I'm trying to keep the censor bar away from it so you can see. Those googly eyes looking at two completely different directions. Is this like using Deadeye in Red Dead? Like, is this what my character looks like when I use Deadeye? I'm looking both eyes in different directions to try to lock onto every target quickly in slow-mo. Like, I don't know, maybe he has this really intense army brat shooting technique that was taught to him that I can't completely understand. But the way that I learned to shoot, you're kind of supposed to zero in on one target and not try to look at two at once, but that's just me. I don't know, I was just a pistol and shotgun safety and marksmanship instructor for the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections, so what the hell do I know? It's not like I have 3 years doing it professionally. I don't know shit. Chance would know because he was an army brat as a child.
Fire your drone around my house, you're done. And like I said, I don't miss. So,
yeah, once again, Chance, Ed said you missed the toilet, so
keep that in mind.
Alright, well, of course we're not done yet, because we have another stream from this morning. This is the most recent Cyraxx update. Last night while I was streaming, John did a stream and kicked the hornet's nest and pissed Cyraxx off a little bit. He seems to be getting very upset about the amount of attention and eyes he's had on him lately, and all the new trolls on the scene really pissing him off, so this is a brief little clip from this morning of him having a reaction to that.
John, Music Biz Marty's brother-in-law. And this is the only time I am speaking out on this subject.
He has said that literally every single time that he's responded to anything that John has said. He's like I think he's afraid that if he acknowledges John, this is going to turn into a situation like with Marty or Southern or William, where John becomes a permanent staple in trolling him. And he's 100% right, but he also physically can't resist doing it. So every time that he mentions John's name, he's like, this is the only time I'm going to respond to you, and then I'm done. And then he does it fucking 5 more times. Also, before he starts, what is with this vein bulging out in his head here? He's falling apart, man.
This is the only time, so y'all need to listen up. And John, I am addressing you directly, okay? I don't know what makes you think that I had something to do with your brother-in-law's death, but I had nothing at all to do with it. Your brother himself. Last year, when I found out that your brother-in-law, Marty, was doing drugs and he was hooked on Ambien and Adderall and drinking and shit, even though he didn't deserve the help, I tried to help him. I tried to fucking stop him from doing those drugs.
That is literally not true at all. He used to tell Marty all the time that was going to happen to him in some capacity, that he was going to pass away, and that he would laugh and think that it was funny when he did. So talk about revisionist history here.
I warned your brother-in-law. I warned him, like, bro, if you keep going down this route, you're going to end up dead.
Yeah, I mean, if by warned him you mean threatened to do it yourself over and over again, then I guess that's kind of true.
I tried telling him, dude. I genuinely, even though he didn't deserve my help, I tried to be the bigger man and help him.
It's amazing that even post-mortem, or I guess I should say post-Miami, Cuba, Chance still, he can't even just be, he's talking about being the bigger man back then. He can't even be the bigger man in this moment because he still needs to throw out, oh, even though he didn't deserve my help.
And what happened? He didn't listen. And as a result, he OD'd on fucking fentanyl. He OD'd on that shit on his own accord. I had nothing to do with it. So I don't get where you think you have evidence, but you don't. And we all know how you like to operate with evidence, dude. We all know that you like to make up bullshit. And if you do have any evidence, where's it at? Because the only evidence I see is some fucking third grade photoshopped bullshit. And the reason why I know you would Photoshop evidence is because of what you did in the Discord call when me and CIA Hole confronted you. And you tried to make my old Facebook profile look like it was your own Facebook profile when it wasn't. It was clearly my shit. And you got mad about it. You got pissed about it. So John, I don't know what your obsession is with me, but you need to stop. I've done nothing to you. I've not attacked you in any way, shape, or form. So you need to step off and leave me alone, because I've had nothing to do with you at all. I've had nothing to do with you attacking me at all. So John, stop slandering my fucking name. Stop taking shots at me, because it's not going to work. Alright? You need to stop trying to take shots at me, because it's just not going to work, dude. It's just not. So, I'm asking you kindly. Alright? I'm not attacking you. I'm simply saying, stop taking shots at me and leave me alone. Because I've done nothing to you for you to start attacking me out of nowhere. I don't know who you are. I don't know what it is that you want from me. But whatever it is that you're after, you're not going to get it. This is the only time I'm bringing this up, John. You need to leave me alone. You need to go do something else with your life. Get a hobby. Take up knitting. Take up cross stitch. Take up lacrosse. Take up soccer. Take up basketball. Do something.
What an odd assortment of hobbies to list. I will never be able to grasp the inner workings of the goblin mind.
Just leave me the fuck alone. I don't deserve what you're doing to me. So you need to step off. Alright? I'm being nice here, dude. I'm here being civil with you. I'm leveling the playing field with you. Alright? I'm leveling the playing field. Stop the bullshit. Stop making up lies about me that are not true. You need to let it go. Your brother's dead. And I'm sorry if that's a tough pill for you to swallow. I know you might be looking for somebody to blame. And I'm sorry about that. But the only person that you have to blame for your brother's death is himself. Your brother took his by his own hands, by being addicted to the drugs. I had nothing to do with it at all. Hell, if you want receipts, let me give you some. I didn't know about your brother's death until a couple weeks after he died. It was literally 2 or 3 weeks after he had died and nobody heard from him that CIA Hole actually is the one that let me know that he died. I had no idea he was dead at all. It was actually through CIA Hole finding the video footage of the funeral when I found out. Now, have I stepped out and said that I'm glad he's dead? Yes. And the reason for that...
Well, Chance, you don't really get to qualify that statement, do you? When you say that you're glad that somebody passed away, it really doesn't matter what comes out of your fucking can opener mouth after that. It's just a disgusting thing to say in 99% of cases. The only time that it would be appropriate to say is if, like, a known PDF passed away or something like that, but outside of that, it's just really gross behavior. So I can't imagine how he's going to follow this up to try to justify it, but I can't imagine it's going to make it better.
It's because he's one of the ones that made my life a living hell. And the only reason I say that, the only reason why I say that I'm glad he's dead is because I don't have to worry about him coming after me anymore.
It really is truly amazing that he's doubling down on this and trying to make himself the victim.
Yes, he is one evil son of a bitch that has done some very fucked up things. But his death was not on me, it was on himself. So I'm kindly asking you, once and for all, to stop blaming me for your brother-in-law's death. That's number one. And number two, stop slandering my name and saying shit about me that's not true. I had absolutely nothing to do with your brother's death. I know what you're trying to do and it's not going to work. You're trying to slander and ruin my reputation and it's not going to work.
I mean, I don't know. I guess, honestly, slandering Cyraxx and damaging his reputation would probably constitute saying something nice about him, because his reputation is that he's a racist, homophobic predator, that he's a criminal grandma strangler, that he punched that door next to Heather's head, that he's lost every fight that he's ever been in. I honestly think at this point slandering him would be saying something nice about him, like saying that he was brave instead of the type of coward to make this noise when he was being arrested.
Don't scream. Chance. Chance. Get taken care of.
You don't understand!
I understand, Chance.
No, you don't!
Chance, come on.
No, you don't! I have been trying to help me!
Help you, man.
Or saying that he was well known around town for just being a very nice guy who was always willing to help out, instead of being well known around town for this.
Who did you piss off? It says Chance will diddle for free.
Like, you can't damage your reputation by saying things that align with what the reputation already is.
So stop, John. I had nothing to do with your brother's death at all. Period. I had absolutely nothing to do with it.
By the way, what is this purple lighting? Why is he talking to us from, like, the underworld from Stranger Things?
So you need to leave me alone. Plain and simple. Leave me alone and stop slandering my name and saying shit that ain't true. Because you know it ain't true.
Alright, so now that we're through the newest Cyraxx update for today, I want to start trying to do something a little bit different. It occurred to me recently with the poor health that he's been in, that Chance Wilkins is not going to be around forever. There is going to be a point where Chance is no longer the content farm that he is today, and while that'll be a very positive thing for the world because it will mean thousands of children on the internet are safer from seeing something that will burn into their brains and traumatize them forever, I also really enjoy the community that we've built here around making fun of him. I have a really great time spending these nights on streams, having a couple of drinks, and making fun of him with you guys. And the last thing I would ever want is for all of that to go away and kind of scatter to the wind whenever it is that Chance is no longer in the picture, which, you know, could be years from now, and it also could happen overnight. We never know. So I want to start introducing a segment to the end of some of these Cyraxx videos when I already have quite a lot of you guys here, because let's be honest, the Cyraxx videos pull way more viewers than anybody else right now, at least for me, where we cover other possible up-and-coming Lolcows so that we can build this channel out to a community that's kind of more about the community itself and making fun of a whole host of different people than, you know, just rallying around hating Cyraxx specifically and not really having any other type of content. So today we're going to be taking a look at Emily, Emil, Beast, and Jack, Lolcow that I only first found out about through a Kiwi Tapes video that I watched quite a while ago. I'm going to link this video that I'm showing on screen here below. It came out about 4 months ago. And then the reason that I decided to cover this person was because Emily, Emil, Beast, and Jack, or EEBJ, has been being covered recently on Patty Melt's channel, which is a great archive channel covering lots of new and up-and-coming cows, alongside Tofia Chu, Ash Trevino, Amberlyn Reed. Patty Melt covers tons and tons of characters that we use a lot of Patty Melt's clips on the streams, so they definitely deserve a sub. If you haven't already, please go subscribe to that channel. It's a great place to keep up with all these internet shenanigans. So to introduce you guys to EEBJ, I'm going to play a couple of excerpts from the Kiwi Tapes video, and then we're going to get into today's current coverage. I just want you guys to know the absolute basics of EEBJ because it's kind of a convoluted story before we cover the newest update. So I hope you guys enjoy seeing somebody on screen who isn't Chance. Maybe this can be a little bit of a palate cleanser. Unfortunately, EEBJ's teeth is not significantly better than Chance's, but it's a little bit of an upgrade, so let's see what's up. Oh, and thanks to Kiwi for this clip here. Kiwi, just quick credit, Kiwi is pretty much how I got into covering the cows in the first place, how I got into even watching the cows. I used to watch Kiwi and Smokey streams and play like the archives of old episodes of Too High for Stupid. I would basically just binge all their content when I was working overnight at a warehouse, so that they're pretty much the ones that introduced me to this channel in the first place. So without Kiwi and Smokey, I mean, this channel wouldn't even exist.
Emil is a TikToker who claims to have multiple personalities, first of which is Emil, the original and main personality, and a singer-songwriter. Then there is Emily, by far the most problematic. Emil is married to a woman named Kayla, but flirts with just about anyone while claiming to be Emily. Then there's Jack, a cool guy Chad, but one personality is far different from the others, much darker, more sinister, and it is called Beast.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're in the store right now. Let's see if Beastie will roar right in the middle of the store.
Okay, so there's so much to make fun of this person for outside of just their appearance, but the first thing I need to say is absolutely unacceptable to be walking around in public like that. Like, please, can we just bring back, like, very basic standards of what is acceptable to go to Walmart wearing? Sometimes I see something so ridiculous that it makes me swing, like, all the way the other way from it. Like, I see some shit like this, and I'm like, we should all have to wear suits outside again, like it's the 1800s. Like, I'm like, this is just ridiculous. Poor Captain Crunch in the background there, having to look at this shit. Oh, no, oh, I hate that. I really, really hated that. That one was worse, but at least that one was in private. I think I cringed less because I knew he wasn't, or they weren't, or whatever, wasn't in a public space when that was happening. I don't even know what to do with the pronoun situation here because they're not even like non-binary or something like that where you would use they pronouns. Like they identify as a man when it's one personality, but as a female for another personality, but then one of the personalities is like an animal, like a beast or something. So I don't even, like, I don't know whenever they're on screen which gender they're currently identifying as because it literally changes like on a dime, like in seconds. So I don't even fucking know, man. Really hate that.
812, Beast! Here, Amo. Thank you for the gifts, guys!
The Beast doesn't talk very much, most of the time communicating through growls and snorts, but when the Beast does speak, it's usually to threaten or flirt with the Chad.
Melissa.
One of my favorite video games of all time is Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City. So that Batman Arkham poster up in the corner there is really, it's really pissing me off. I really hate when these little freaks like things that I like.
There you go, Melissa! I guess Beast acknowledged you too, babe! So that is awesome! The Beast likes you too, Melissa!
Here he is talking about how the Beast stopped him and his brother from getting beat up.
Ready, guys? So one time, my brother had gotten in some bad shit, an addiction, and my brother had gotten himself in a bad jam. But they didn't come from my brother, they came from me. So one time, I'm down at the laundromat, right? And I turn around, and there's all these dudes from Jersey. So they're all coming up. And nothing against Jersey, nothing against anyone. This is just a fight, it's how it goes. And I'm standing there, and I'm just like, and all of a sudden, they're all coming up. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, yo, you owe this. He said, you take care of this. And I'm like, okay. No, I'm not doing that, right? I don't have that, not a chance. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to take care of you. Now, there's about 4 here, and there's about 3 here. So maybe it was 7. Anyway, I'm trying to remember. And they got the, big hats on, big shirts, chains, all this shit. I'm like, all right, here we go. So,
well, everybody knows in a fight, that's the most intimidating thing is how big the hat the other guy is wearing is. I mean, that's one thing that tells me you don't want to fuck up with this guy is when he's wearing a huge, gigantic hat. I mean, basically, like, Mr. Dimmadome's hat is, like, that's who you never want to fuck with.
guy's like, all right, we'll get him. I'm like, hold on. Ready? I take off my shirt. I get down on the ground. I'm not kidding you guys. And I said, come on. And the kid goes, what the fuck was that, right? I'm going, ugh. And I'm sitting there, right? And they're all just looking at me. And the kid goes, get him, dog, get him. I'm like, ugh. He goes, get him. And I said, at least 2 of you are leaving without, no joke, I'm ripping them right off. I said, come on. And the kid goes, just get him. And I'm going, just down on the ground, right? So he's like, oh, well, dude, I hear him say, he goes, dude, what if he gets me? And the other...
Yeah, Alex, I'll take things that didn't happen for 5. So here's the thing about this story. Not only is it complete nonsense bullshit that never ever happened. There's an old quote where it's like, oh god, it's an old YouTuber who said this, but they use it as a TikTok sound now. It's like, that is the most didn't happen thing that ever didn't happen. Of all the things that didn't happen, that didn't happen the most. And like that's how I feel about this little tale that they're telling here. But I also feel the need to say, even if part of this were true, even if there were a couple of kids bullying him and then he decided to get on all fours and start barking like a dog, I would be willing to believe that those kids, instead of fighting him, didn't bully him anymore and left him alone, because that is such freak shit behavior that would make people probably be like, I'm not even gonna deal with that. Like when I was growing up, I'm not gonna like dox this person. I mean, nobody knows who I am, so I guess I'm not really doxing the person by telling the story, but I'll just say there was a girl in one of my classes in like 3rd grade who she used to get bullied. And she wanted to be like a cat, like she would make like cat meows and cat noises and stuff like that, and people would bully her for it. And then one time she like kind of curled up into a ball in her chair and started like hissing, and the teacher told her to stop, and when the teacher tried to approach her, she was hissing and like pretending to swat like a cat would at the teacher, and it was honestly so fucking weird that it crossed past the point of being funny where people would like make fun of her for it. It became so weird that everyone was so uncomfortable that everybody would just leave her alone after that, because they were like, oh, it's going to get pushed to a point where instead of being funny, it becomes so cringe that like nobody even wants to see it. So like the kids who were bullying her stopped. So even though I think this story is nonsense bullshit because of the way he's like trying to make himself such a tough guy in the story and talking about ripping out people's eyes and stuff like that, I will say I can see a reality where if you were bullying a kid and he got down on all fours and started barking at you, you'd be like, nope, never mind. Too weird. I don't want to instigate that behavior. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'll find somebody else.
The kid's like, well, what if he gets me? He looks insane. I'm going, right? And the kid goes, dude, just get him. There's enough of us. And I say, come on. You know, but I'm going, come on. And he's going, oh my God. And I'm just amped up, right? Beast is just amped. Shoulders, everything. And the kid goes, yo, I'm not doing this.
Here he is rapidly switching between personalities, telling us the attributes of each one.
So anyway, yeah, guys, so like you could see, like I said, I'm Emil. Right now, I'm the guitarist. I'm the singer. You don't go on and fake this shit on TikTok if you're not legit. They can see right through it. You know what I mean? So I'm the musician. I am the singer and the artist. And I'm Emily. How are you doing? Hi, Casino. What's going on? We had an amazing night. We got to dance. In 4.5 hours now, we did 215,000 likes, which is fast. We're getting faster. And we had 500 in the chat. So we are getting bigger and bigger by the night, thanks to you guys. And of course, with me, Jack. What's up, Casino? We remember you. You go way back, dog. You've been a fan a long, long time. How you doing, honey? Well, as long as we've been around. And actually, guys, to sum up our whole TikTok career,
the fact that Emil can quickly and purposefully switch between personalities has led many to speculate if he's faking or not. Emil even claims that he is a special case and that his doctors have never seen anything like this before, so take that as you will. A lot of the behavior that I've shown you so far gained Emil a large following on TikTok that he used to live stream and interact with his fans, at one point becoming so notorious that people were even approaching him for pictures in public.
I'm here out in Carbondale with 2 fans of mine. We are doing fantastic. It's Emily, Beast.
Alright, so basically, because of his insane, bizarre, over-the-top behavior, Emil is how they say it in the thing. I've always read that name as Emil, but I guess Emil or whatever. A couple of videos go viral on TikTok. People were very perplexed on TikTok as to what the hell was going on with this person and whether this was real or not, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say fucking obviously it's not. But this generally just had that type of over-the-top weirdness that becomes really popular on TikTok for some reason. I mean, you got to think Nova has gone viral on TikTok like multiple times, so people just like weird short-form cringe shit on there, and I guess like the roaring in public and the voices that are being done and everything just really worked for the TikTok algorithm. So Emil ends up being kind of thrust into the spotlight because of going viral on TikTok a couple of times, and at that point people start recognizing Emil in public and asking for pictures and stuff like that. It's very weird. TikTok kind of makes these people into celebrities where they think a lot of people like them. That's kind of how Nova and Tofia ended up thinking that they were famous in like a positive way, and that definitely applies to Emil here as well. So now that you guys have kind of a basis for the whole 4 different split personalities situation that's happening with Emil, or Emil, I don't know, I kind of feel like I don't care and I'm just going to keep saying Emil because that's how I read it, and if I don't, I'm going to have to like manually correct my brain to say Emil every time. Whatever this thing is, claims to have dissociative personality disorder, claiming 4 personalities, and one of the most unbelievable things about this person is that they claim that they can switch between these personalities mid-conversation, and that the personalities can actually have conversations with one another. So I don't want to spend the next hour going into a bunch of ridiculous psychobabble about dissociative personality disorder. The research that I have done, I'm not confident enough to say 100% that it is not real. Like, that it's never, ever, ever real. And I mean as a concept, not this person not having it. I'm very confident to say this person doesn't have it. I'm not 100% confident. I haven't done enough research. I'm not a psychiatrist to say that it is never, ever real. However, I will say, if it's real, one, it is incredibly, exceedingly rare. Like, we're talking like 0.00001% of the population rare. Like, there, you can probably count the people in the world who have it in the dozens, not in the hundreds type of rare. That's how rare we're talking here. And 2, the way that it manifests is not at all the way that this person claims that it's happening. This person is having fun playing characters. I'm sure they do have some type of other mental health diagnosis that's making them act like that, but they don't really believe that they're 4 different distinct personalities. And in cases that have been argued to be real by certain psychiatrists, which even still, any case that I've ever been able to find of dissociative personality disorder, it's like debated. Like, there's no consensus. There's no case where like everyone who looks at it is like, yes, this is real. There might be a few people who feel pretty confident about it, and then there's other people who argue against it. But even in the more prominent believed cases of dissociative personality disorder, this is not at all how it manifests. I mean, somebody could have one personality for like days or weeks or even months, and then a specific trigger occurs that makes a different personality come out and take over. Like, this is just not that I even really necessarily believe it in the first place, but this is not at all the way that this would manifest if it was real. The closest analogy that I can think of is that this person is to dissociative personality disorder what Cyraxx is sitting in his racing rig to like Formula 1. Like, this is basically someone with a child's mindset pretending that they're doing something that they don't really even understand well enough to accurately pretend they're doing. So I'll stop rambling now, and we're going to get into the most recent update, but I really just wanted you guys to have, like, a basis for who this person was, because I do think that, especially with Patty Melt archiving their TikTok streams, and they are very active on TikTok, we're going to be covering this person coming up. Like, they are going to kind of make their way into the rotation on this channel because I find them very cringe and weird and interesting. Even look at the background of the room. First of all, this shirt that they're wearing is just atrocious. The pink bra hanging in the background is crazy. Just prominently displayed. Like, it's just wild. There's a lot going on with this person. So now that you guys have kind of a basis for what they're even claiming that they experience, let's get into their content.
People post you farting. Yes, I do that too. I do whatever I want to. I fart. I do whatever I feel like doing. That's Emily. Always has been. Always will be. Alright, Cajun, you'll like this one. We sang this a few times. We're gonna sing it again. Always, Cajun.
That's right.
You're great. I'm here to save you.
Haters can't stand that everything we are is us. Always.
What does he have on his pants there? Is that like a chain on his thigh? Also, all these cows are always obsessed with the concept of having haters. It's almost like they like it or something. Call me crazy, but it's almost like they think negative attention is better than no attention.
They've been jealous of everything from my ponytail to the crease in my socks and underwear. They have been jealous of everything to do with me since I started. Does anybody go to them? No. Does anybody care what they wear? No. Does anybody care who they are? No. Does anybody give a shit what they do? No. Does anybody want to watch them? No. Does anybody like their singing? No. Does anybody care how old their kids are? No.
So again, just typical cow behavior here, talking about how nobody cares about all these other people and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know, man. I gotta say, I would rather have no fame at all than have infamy where people thought that I was like a lunatic on the internet. Like, people just were looking at me like I was a car crash.
Does anybody care about their exes? No. Does anybody care if they were married? No. Does anybody care if they were in addiction? No. Does anybody care what they look like? No. Does anybody care what they post on Facebook? No. Does anyone care if they have personalities? No. Does anybody care if they do TikTok Live? No. Does anybody care what socks they wear? No.
Emil is really interested in the socks. I think he's mentioned the socks like 4 times now. I also got to say, this person comes off to me like they're either on uppers or having a manic episode. Like, again, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know what's going on here. Obviously, it's not this multiple personality disorder thing, but I will say I wouldn't be surprised to find out that this person was like bipolar or schizophrenic or something like that, because they definitely aren't living in reality. And there is like, I don't know, they have that they have the crazy eyes and like the level of energy where I'm just like, yeah, something's not right here. Something's not right.
Is anyone addicted to their panties? No. Does anybody care what jeans?
Is anyone addicted to their what?
No. Is anyone addicted to their panties? No.
Huh?
Does anybody care what jeans they have on? No.
Oh, yeah, I should also probably point out, remember how I was making fun of Emil's teeth at the beginning there? Emil has, like, internet-purchased veneers now, which is why they suddenly look 100 times whiter and straighter than they did in the Kiwi Tapes video from only a few months ago. Like all the Lolcows, Emil's teeth was rotting out of his mouth.
Does anybody care if their hair's up or down? No. Does anybody care if they wear makeup? No. And the list goes on and on and on. No wonder they're jealous. Nobody gives a fuck what they do. Straight up, nobody. Welcome, stalk them.
I just realized Emil also has a Ninja Turtles poster in the background, and once again, Emil, I need your interest to stop overlapping with mine, please.
Come on, Cajun.
She moves like she don't care. Smooth as silk and cool as air. Ooh, she makes you walk up.
Alright, I have to jump ahead because there's copyright music now.
Nice to know you. Welcome, Noah. We have our own sense of humor, but we infect you like a tumor. Trust me, we're badass. Welcome, Noah.
I gotta say, upgrade from Cyraxx, at least this thing's mic is plugged in. Or I guess not even plugged in, it's like a wireless mic. I mean, they've really got some technology that Cyraxx could just never have.
Like TikTok, so basically we're on TikTok probation, if you want to call it that. So we're on our backup until my main account comes out of being in trouble. It happens to everybody.
No, I mean, it really doesn't happen to everybody. Emil has been banned from TikTok before for raging out and making threats, and then for making, like, tons of explicit, I guess I'll call it humor, because he always giggles afterwards like it's supposed to be a joke, but I don't know, something about it really never comes off that way to me. So this is not the first time that Emil has been in TikTok jail, and I would venture to guess it won't be the last.
So, every creator who's been on here, we've only been on here, bro, 2 years. In 2 years, Cajun, 2 years, over 142 million live likes. Let's go. Thanks, man. They were all dropping shit. Oh my God, and then they looked at us. It was insane. All right, Sydney, we're gonna do another, and it doesn't affect my vocals. Noah, I asked the doctors. Doctors made a joke. They said you must have a beast inside you because it doesn't affect any of my vocal cords at all. I'm glad yeah, bro. You found us for a reason. Plus, Noah, did your parents name you after the Bible? Check it out. Saved. Saved. Salvation. Saved, bro.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, regardless of what God you believe in, that deity has not saved you yet if you are behaving like this. This is pre-saved behavior, whatever you think is out there. Also, that comment about the doctor, once again, bullshit. Much like the White Bowser used to randomly just be like, my doctor said that I'm not a PDF. Emil is constantly bringing up this mystery doctor, which, according to him, just affirms all of his delusions and everything he says he is. The doctor is like, yeah, totally, here's a medical diagnosis that you'll never be able to show anybody for it. So, I love when he brings that up. He'll just be like, oh yeah, well, my doctor said I'm 52% beast. Like, shut the fuck up, Emil.
You'd be surprised how similar probably are to us. You have no idea. I can feel your parents probably did.
Oh God, I fucking forgot that Emil refers to himself as us. That one always gives me a little bit of cringe.
Just wait till you get to watch us more, man. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna show you. You like Eminem, Noah? Check this out.
Typical Eminem fan L. I really liked Eminem when I was like 11 and I was listening to the Slim Shady songs. Sorry to diss Marshall, but I'm just saying, if this is your fan base, that's a bad sign.
Sorry, I didn't get to read that. You ready? Ooh, shoot. Damn it. All right, Kimber, we got to read. Everybody, Noah, this sucks. We have to reset. Said no more mentioning of I said too much about addiction. Now, since they switched the algorithm, Noah, they flag certain things. When you get a flag, it's best to reset your live. I got a flag that just said talking about rugs and talking about tails, and even though I wasn't doing that, we'll be right back, Noah. 3 seconds. 3 seconds. We're just...
Actually, you were doing that because we literally just heard it like 2 clips ago. And it's also kind of hilarious to me how bad... So these people want to be content creators like really badly, right? But they're also, the Lolcows, every single one of them, are very lazy by nature. Like that's just kind of built into the archetype that makes up a Lolcow. So even though they want their career, quote unquote, to be creating content, they never take the time to learn the rules and like to learn the TOS. You know what I mean? I mean, the first time I ever got a strike on YouTube, I was able to get the strike overturned, but I did spend some time the following day watching a couple of videos of people breaking down like what you can and can't say, what is and isn't a violation, what are good ways to make sure that you don't fall into certain traps and stuff like that. So because I like, and this isn't even my main all-day career, this is like a side job for me, this is really something fun that it's just a nice little bonus when I make a little bit of money from, but I mean, even doing it that way, I just don't want my channel to get taken down, so I have to like do a little bit of research here and there to try to figure out how to not get myself in trouble on these platforms. And TikTok is notoriously like the most censored platform on the internet. It's very well known that you can get censored off of TikTok for some pretty benign things. So I love when these people complain like, oh, it's not my fault, I wasn't even talking about that, but they flagged me. Like, well, dude, your other account is actively in TikTok jail, you're streaming from your second account, and you're still breaking rules. So at a certain point, it's not TikTok's fault, it's yours for not learning the rules. But everybody knows that Lolcows are completely and utterly allergic to accountability and personal responsibility, so I have no doubt that Emily, Emil, Beast, and Jack will all never be learning the lesson. None of the there's four brains in there, 4 personalities in there, and none of them are going to take the time to learn TikTok's TOS. So I wanted to give you guys a nice little intro into this lunatic because we will be covering them and a couple other lunatics on the channel. Let me know in the comments below who you think I should cover. I'm going to be doing a little bit of Ash Trevino coming up. Sophia Chu's been really boring lately, so I don't think there's going to be much more of her in the rotation outside of maybe, you know, popping in for some live streams and stuff like that. But we'll be doing some deep dives here and there on some other cows, because like I said, I don't want to get too bogged down in this being like only a Cyraxx community. I'd like to be able to pick and choose who we laugh at and not have it all be based around one person. So that is going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for coming by the stream. For everybody who stuck around after the Rax content was finished for today, I appreciate you trying something a little bit different with me. I hope you liked it. And yeah, until next time, you guys know the drill. Stay indoors, stay away from the goblin, and have a good one.